Has everybody had a chance to look those over?
I have. I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Clerk?
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes. Which one is
We had one item of new business, discussion about reports. What I had planned for that did not come through, but we do have a sample report here. There's really nothing to do with it. We don't need to approve it or anything. Just look at it, and if you have any comments.
Yeah, so this is just a sample, it's not actual happen?
Right.
Okay,
It's just a preliminary to let us know what to expect.
okay.
Anybody see anything on there you need changed or anything?
Yeah.
No.
I'm good.
Okay. If not, that concludes, anybody have any comments? That concludes the new business. Anybody have anything about matters not on the agenda for the Information Systems Committee? Hearing none, we're adjourned.
Okay, so now we go to municipal services, right? Legislation. Oh, here we go.
Okay, we go to legislation codes. You say they are here.
I think you're stuck next to me all day today. I think you're stuck next to me all day today.
Yeah, I am. Lucky you. What's with the tie? Thought you dressed the show up? Alrighty-roo. I don't know if I do or not. That's what doesn't tell me. I used to.
I sat next to a guy in the church every time they showed up. So you can stop the whole meeting.
That'd be nice.
Nobody woke him up, nobody said a word until we had our inspection, and then the inspecting officer woke
Alrighty.
6:35, March 16th, we call the Legislation, Codes, and Regulations Committee meeting to order. Clerk, would you take roll, please?
Mr. R. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Kreider?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Yep.
We have a summary of proceedings. Has everybody had a chance to review that?
Yes, I move that we accept.
I will second.
Clerk, please.
Mr. R. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kreider,
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
We have an item of old business that we need to attend to. It's a liquor permit request for the fairgrounds. We had this last committee meeting, had some questions that were unresolved. So we, hopefully, somebody from the Ag Committee is here, Agriculture Society here, to answer questions. Okay. Anybody have any questions for them?
Yes. Actually, probably maybe have some findings, some questions for the law director. It looks like this event has already happened. Is that, oh, it hasn't. Okay, well, I've got I was just looking at, it says
The 314 event was canceled.
Okay. So, is that what we are looking at as far as, that's why I'm trying to get the definition of when you have temporary permit versus from here on out. Is this going to be a continuation of the use for the scope of the area?
So with the new arena football that's coming in,
Okay.
they have partnered with Delmar Distributing from Delaware. And they have asked that we sell beer at their events. And so with their events and some of our events that already coincide, it takes our permit process, extensive details, and lots of stepping stones. So it was questioned why we couldn't just do an annual permit to cover the events that we are held within the Coliseum.
Okay, so is there going to be any beer sales outside of the Coliseum?
No, other
Like at
than
the
our
grandstand
normal- no.
or?
Other than our normal beer permit that we file during the week of the fair.
Right.
That one will be a completely separate entity. So this permit will just be held within the walls of the Coliseum, purchased and consumed, and then the sheriff's department, as our security, they make sure that nothing is carried outside of the walls.
Okay, and what about school-sponsored events? Like if you have a basketball tournament or somebody, I'm not, those things have happened at the Coliseum in the past.
Sure.
I'm not saying you're doing them now, but there's a possibility.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't have an answer for that because we don't have anything on the schedule for that.
Wouldn't want to see that. so.
Right, and so that would also, that'd be something that the board would decide on. These are just like arena football, we have kart races, we have motorcycle races. Like we wouldn't sell it at the circus, we wouldn't sell it at the monster truck shows, so those are children-based events. So this would just be the more adult-friendly events.
Okay. That answers my questions.
I was gonna say, it was just the temporary one we had here versus, yeah, that was my question, so.
Anybody from the audience have any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just for clarity, so has the Agricultural Society applied for a permanent liquor permit for the Coliseum building?
Yeah, it's called an annual permit.
It's an annual permit?
Yes.
Did the society use an attorney? What I'm looking for is usually when you make application for that annual permit, you have to provide the Department of Liquor Control a schematic sketch of the structure that the alcohol will be sold in. Was that included, do you know? 'Cause
Yes, we're in that process, and the state actually is coming this week for an inspection.
So they're gonna inspect it. Well, the one thing we tried to find in advance as part of our research was that page with the application that shows the schematic or the Coliseum building. Could you forward that to the clerk so we can at least put that in our
I
file?
actually saw someone who had a copy of the map.
That's the temporary.
That's a temporary, that's, we don't have anything else. That's-
Okay, so it's the exact same picture of that, but yes.
Okay. Well, I'd seen the materials that have been distributed, but I was actually looking for the one that was attached to the permanent application for your annual permit.
Sure.
So we could have that one in the file showing that the permit will be for the Coliseum building.
Sure.
And that was a lot of questions related to that early on, so that would be helpful.
Sure.
Anybody have any other questions? Fire department, you have any problems?
We have no issue. Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the wishes of the committee?
I move that we forward council with recommendation to approve.
No action.
No action, that's right, it's a liquor permit.
That's your motion.
Yeah. I'll second that.
Okay. That's it?
Mr. R. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Okay, the item of new business that we have is Smokehouse 101. It's a liquor permit request for 101 Smokehouse LLC, be located at 138 South Main Street, which I think is the Lydia project.
No, this is the old Ray Ray's.
Oh, the old Ray Ray's, okay. Okay, so it'd be in the old Ray Ray's. What's any comments?
I have none. It's essentially
No issues.
kind of a similar business to what that was in there before.
What was there before?
Yeah,
It's a-
yeah.
It's a D1, D2, and D3 permit. Anybody from the fire department have a problem with it?
We have no opposition. No opposition.
Anybody from the audience have anything, any comments? Yes, Ms. Craig.
My name is Craig, 365 Silver Street. Is the permit tied to the business or to the building?
The business.
Okay, because when Ray Ray's was there, apparently they did not have a liquor license.
They had one.
When I looked on the state of Ohio and after speaking with them, they did not have the liquor license to sell alcohol, only to sell beer.
Yes.
So they were selling liquor. I know because I consumed it there. And I did report that to the state of Ohio. So are we going to have some oversight? Are they serving liquor also? Is this a beer only permit? Because with that building has ran with the liquor, without a liquor permit more than once.
I'm pretty sure this one is beer, alcohol, and wine.
Okay.
It's a D1, D2, and D3.
Because the restaurant that was there before had some real issues with their liquor permit as well.
Taste of Memphis.
Yes, I
Yes.
believe alcohol was actually seized from their premises, if I'm not mistaken.
They didn't have a permit.
Okay, well, Ray Ray's didn't have the correct
Yeah.
permit. So I'm making sure that we are, now everybody's playing by the same rules.
Yeah.
They were also not paying their electric bill and running on a generator.
Seems
So,
seems to be a trend.
anything that costs money.
Wanted to make sure that we were, if we're handing out liquor permits, that we're making sure we have the correct oversight on it.
And if you, Ms. Craig, if you do notice that they are serving liquor,
If there's allowed to, I mean, they're allowed
well,
to.
but they're not according to this permit. But if they're selling liquor, I trust that you will bring that to somebody's
Well, I
attention.
mean, you would think that when you walk into a place, most people don't realize there's a difference between beer and,
Right.
you know, and you would think when you're walking into a place
It's
downtown,
already-
that they're serving you vodka, that you're allowed to be serving it.
Right.
And
Right.
apparently they were not, so.
All right, thank you. Okay,
And this is also part of the DORA.
Right.
okay, it's in the door. Okay, all right. What's the wishes? committee?
So take no action?
I'll second that.
Okay, clerk?
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Krager?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
That concludes the new business. Matters not on the agenda. Anybody have anything for the Legislation, Codes, and Regulations Committee? Anybody from the administration? If not, we adjourn, 6:43.
Oh, that's me. Okay. Is it just the two of us? Yes, it is. No.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
6:37.
Wait 1 minute. Yes, or do I have to? Or can I start?
You can start.
It's
6:37.
Okay, this is Airports, Lands, and Buildings Committee. Clerk, take roll, please.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Present.
Okay, we got the summary of proceedings from our previous meeting.
I read through them, they appear to be correct, so I move that we accept them as written.
I'll second.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Okay, I've got 2 ordinances to submit tonight. However, I am going to defer to Matt Arnold from the airport to explain them. They get a little technical. And he can answer better what the FAA wants.
Matt Arnold, Aviation Director for the City of Marion.
One second, let me just put this. This first item is,
Would you like me to read it?
yes, please.
Ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for the FY26 FAA Air Grant Funds and the FY27 ODOT Aviation Grant Funds, accept grant offers, advertise for bids, and enter into a contract for reconstruction of runway 1331, surface nav aids and lighting design at the Marion Municipal Airport, and declaring an emergency.
Where's mine?
Yes, sir.
This ordinance is for design only for a project for runway 13 and 31. It hasn't been resurfaced in 30-plus years, and the lighting system is getting very expensive to continue to use. So this is design only. Approximate cost for the design is $150,000. 90% funded by FAA, 5% by ODOT, and then local share would be 5%, which is approximately $7,500.
Okay, and I think you told me that you had 1,250 budgeted, or is that 12,500 budgeted?
12.5.
12,500 budgeted for this, okay.
So this in no way would work into the city? You already have the money encumbered for this, you're saying?
It was budgeted, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if it's for design only, why do we have everything else in there? It's for design only, we haven't bid it out, accepted, everything else in there. So are you asking for design only, or asking for everything?
I'm just asking for the design. The bids would be CMT doing the design.
I get
I'm
that,
not
Mr.
sure.
Law Director, I think what we're looking at though, the writing, or what is on item number 1 is talking about the bid, the acceptance, the construction, not just
No.
design. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. Okay.
If I may, if you read it, it says, "And enter into contract for reconstruction of runway 1331 surface, nav aids, and lighting design at the Marion Municipal Air," or that's where the design is, so it comes after the sentence. Or we could insert up here in advertise for bids and enter into contract for design of reconstruction.
Mr. Chairman, so the mayor's correct. The ordinance that was presented for review is beginning to end of the project. So this particular ordinance, as it was received, is not just limited to the design. If you forward this content on and pass it at council, it authorizes the entire project from the beginning till the end, including the reconstruction. So it sounds like the desire is to pass an ordinance to apply for the funds associated with the design of the project and then stop there. Is what I hear from committee members, so.
Is that your intent?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to amend this.
Well, I think I can work with the clerk and the director of aviation to eliminate the verbiage associated with enter into contract for the construction of the project. So we can refine it. I would suggest you make a motion to send on to council for approval as to the design only. You don't need to take the time to amend it now.
Thank you. Anyone else comment? Matt, anything?
My apologies, poor wording there. Yes, it was meant design only for this project, which will be next year or the following year. The work to be done. This is phase 1.
And I will make a motion to send out to council with recommendation for approval for design only.
I'll second that. Clerk, take roll, please.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll move on to item number 2. Clerk, please read.
Ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for FY '26 FAA AIG grant funds and FY '27 ODOT Aviation grant funds, accepting grant offers, advertising for bids, and entering into contract for rehabilitation construction of taxiway C at the Marion Municipal Airport and declaring an emergency.
Can we get an explanation, please, sir?
Okay, so this is requesting funds for AIG grants, which is the last of the 5-year grant period of the infrastructure bill that was passed back in 2021. This will be 95% funded by the FAA,
100.
and ODOT will pick up the remaining 5%. So 100% funding, 0% local, and this is for resurfacing taxiway C out at the Marion Airport.
Any questions?
It says City of Marion may be responsible for 0%, and also it says local share estimated to be 0. Or is there any guarantee it's going to be 0?
I can't guarantee it. ODOT 3 years ago reneged on their 5%. Since then, they have gone back to funding this AIG portion.
So 5% could be $17,000, somewhere close to $20,000.
Could be, yes.
I think you have that in the airport improvement fund if you need it, is that
Yes.
right?
So we do have the funds.
Yes.
Yes.
We just have to be very careful right now with our financial states.
Absolutely, I understand that.
Any questions
And
from, oh, no,
If
go
I
ahead.
may, I should go back to, because of the financial situation. I have been a lot of talks with the FAA on the design of 1331. Because with the design that they are recommending, we're talking $4 to $6 million. And the funding for this, so this is for design, that's all I put in for design. When the design comes in, if it's $4 to $6 million, that's something that we need to discuss with the administration and you guys, whether or not we actually want to do this project.
Okay.
In 1 year, 2 years, depending on how much FAA funds. It's typically 9, 5, and 5, so at $6 million, we're looking at $300,000 for that project in fiscal year 27 or fiscal year 28.
And that's the
That would be the
plan to
construction.
shrink the runway down to 75 feet?
Well, that's the big discussion. We'd like to keep the runway the way it is and just mill and fill, shave off 2 inches, fill it. But some of the testing that we've already done with boring, the FAA does not like that idea and they want to redo the whole surface. Right now it's 100 feet, but the FAA across the United States, because of the size of our airport, would shrink it from 100 foot wide to 75 feet wide. When you shrink from 100 feet wide to 75 feet wide, the light's got to come in with it. So it's going to be a major project.
Mhm.
And we've been discussing with them for the last couple of years, trying to maintain the 100 so we didn't have to spend the extra money on the lighting, of moving the lighting, but long-term, they want less pavement to fix in the next 25, 50, 75 years, so they're shrinking everything to 75 feet width. So that's a large discussion we're having, an argument that we're not looking at now.
Okay. Administration, any questions? Audience, any questions? Yeah, come up the podium, state your name and address.
Matthew Cooper, 844 Congress Street. What exactly are we expanding the airport for?
I'm sorry?
Why?
We're not expanding
Oh,
it.
okay, well, you're shrinking it.
We're resurfacing.
Resurfacing. How many aircraft do you guys get in any given year?
20,000 to 30,000 operations.
All right. Who else flying in here? Are they for the,
All kinds of people.
all kinds of people
Yeah.
flying in here? Alright, so,
We have businesses that fly in here for meetings. We have locals that, just use the airport for their
this is gonna be
personal.
a $4.5 million project, in the future, correct?
We don't know what the project is yet, we're just putting it out for design. Once they bring the design back, then we'll have a meeting again and decide whether they want us to shrink it, and it's gonna be much more expensive than just resurfacing.
So what is he asking for the design now? It's $100,000?
$12,000 for the
$12,000 right
design.
now, for just the design?
Yeah.
But it had the word, you don't accidentally put in the wording for the whole thing?
Not yet.
Well, I'm saying you don't accidentally put, that's not an accidental contract.
No.
So,
It's
why
going
is
to
it
council,
written?
it's going to council, like they said, with just the design phase.
And the one thing, for economic development, Marion cannot afford to let the airport slide. That's a piece of the puzzle that's,
Wasn't
It's
it
a-
retired in like the 80s? Pretty much, the last time it was really used majorly was in the 80s, right?
used daily now.
Mhm.
So it's active. So,
All right.
any other questions, comments?
I would say based on the fact that it is in his budget to do this, and it's not going to cost the city money we don't have at this point, my recommendation, we send on to council with a recommendation to approve.
I'll second. Clerk, read the roll, please.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay, we'll move on to items not on the agenda. Bill, do you have anything?
I do not.
Administration? Audience? Anything on airports, lands, and buildings? Not, we stand adjourned. What? I'm done.
Kind of aggressive on that.
Hey, it's my only chance to be heard. Okay. Yes, he's right there in the suit. Right here, behind Wendy. Is that where we're headed now? Yes. Okay. We can get you a booster seat. So, you get everything squared away at the house?
No, I still have to get up on the roof.
No. You call somebody to get up on the roof.
Oh yeah, we're gonna wait for him to set up.
You don't need to be getting up on the roof. I don't need to be getting up on the roof.
Don't get done.
I know that feeling too. I got all around my house that just don't get done.
I can stay over here too. Yeah, well, I was looking up there. And she up to your left.
I already pointed that out.
Oh, wait.
So he knows.
Oh, okay. So, you got, what was that? Yeah, because it's on the next one, the Finance Committee, I got it. We got the wrong people. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kelly has not undergone transition. Doesn't look like it. He is wearing a tie though. So I don't know, he might be going trans.
You're in trouble now.
There's a typo on here. these codes and, I'm like, hey, explain.
Is it okay if I stand here? Yeah. So I can hit the next one?
Yes, just give us a second to open the committee meeting.
Okay, good evening, everybody. The time is 7 o'clock. We'll call Municipal Services Park and Rec to order. Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Larkin?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Yep.
Okay, we have some summary proceedings. How does the committee wish to proceed? I think there was one correction that had to be
Right.
made. But other than that,
Other than that, I make a motion, we accept.
second. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Here, yes. Okay, we have one item of new business, and it's flock camera discussion with the help of Chief and Sergeant Major back there. We were able to get a representative from Flock here to help answer any questions that the community or the committee here might have. So would you please come up and introduce yourself? And
So good evening, Council, Mayor, Administration, and for all the folks here in the room today. My name is Kerry McCormick. I'm on the Public Affairs team at Flock Safety. I oversee a big chunk of the east side of the U.S., but I'm located in Cleveland. Great state of Ohio, wouldn't have it any other way. But our team goes out upon these types of requests and is more than happy to engage with the community, council members, administrations, common questions, to overview the product, what it is, what it isn't, and to engage on that information.
certainly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're all going to have a lot of questions. I take it, I don't know how you want to do this. If you have something that you'd like to share with everybody, or if you'd like people to ask questions first, how would you like to proceed?
I think it'd be most helpful if I just ran through the presentation. It's not too long, and then I'm happy to take any questions and comments.
We'll go that route then. Please
Is
proceed.
that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Do you mind if I stand over here so I can click through? All right. All right. So just to give a introduction on who is Flock Safety. So Flock Safety is an American company. We were founded and are headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. And we work with over 6,000 communities across the country, small towns to big cities, everybody in between, on public safety technology for first responders. So right now we primarily work with police departments and fire departments across the country on tools that help them do their jobs. And we're proud of that work and our partners in maintaining safe communities. A quick snapshot about the company. Again, I said that 6,000 mark. Those are the communities across the country. We're in 49 out of the 50 states, the one exception being Alaska. And we also have private customers. So we work with everything from homeowners associations to mom and pop shops to larger retail stores as well. And we're proud that every single day police departments use our technology, especially today we'll talk about license plate readers, to help solve crime and find missing people, which is also a large component of the work. So again, we'll talk about license plate reader cameras today. So a license plate reader camera is a camera on the public right-of-way that takes a photo of the back of the vehicle, again on a public right-of-way. So it captures the license plate in the back of the vehicle. And this is a tool that law enforcement uses across the country to, again, assist with crime prevention, investigating crime, as well as finding missing people. And we'll talk through a little bit more about how that works in a moment. So there's really two ways that the cameras primarily work. The first is proactive and the second is reactive. So what that means is a proactive would be if a vehicle passes a camera and the license plate is on a list associated with a crime or a missing person. So law enforcement, with or without our technology, will generally have, there's national, state, and local lists of vehicles that were associated with a crime. So let's say a local convenience store is robbed. They're able to capture the convenience store's camera, and the police review it and say, hey, that was a purple Toyota ABC 123 that robbed the convenience store. Your department can go into the system, or the county, and put that plate into the system to say ABC 123, was associated with robbing that convenience store. Similarly, let's say there's an Amber Alert. So I think most folks are familiar with an Amber Alert, where a child either goes missing or is abducted. That information can also be put into the system, as well as a Silver Alert. And so a Silver Alert is when a senior citizen, generally with cognitive challenges, goes missing. And this actually happens more frequent than we think. So if there's a couple, sometimes one will drive off and get lost, unfortunately. And so their husband or wife will call into the PD and say, we haven't heard from my husband or wife for how many hours or sometimes days. And so they can upload that information as a Silver Alert into the system as well. So if one of those vehicles that is either associated with a crime, an Amber Alert, missing or abducted child, or a Silver Alert, it will ping your police department and say, hey, that vehicle that is associated with a crime or missing person just passed this camera on this street. If you drive down the street and you pass a license plate reader and your vehicle is not associated with a crime or a missing person, no action happens. So there's no alert, your police department is not made aware of it. The other side is after the fact. So the photos, and I'll get into this in a little bit, that are taken by the camera are saved for 30 days. And so what your police department is able to do is, we know that sometimes you don't know about a crime immediately. It might happen, you might learn about it a day, 2 days, a week later. So the police department can go into the system and say, we got new evidence that a gray Buick XYZ 123 was associated with a crime. Has it hit one of our cameras in the last 30 days? So they're able to go back 30 days and search the system specifically related to either a crime or missing person. It will then tell you, yes, it has hit a license plate reader, or no, it has not. And importantly, we'll talk a little bit more about that 30 days and why that's important for public safety while balancing community privacy. So vehicle fingerprint, it takes a picture of the back of the vehicle. So it'll capture, just as you see there, the vehicle make, body type, color, these types of elements. Importantly, the cameras do not capture who's in the vehicle. There is no facial recognition. It doesn't have any information on who's driving the vehicle. So today, let's say you're in a community without license plate readers. The way it would work would be at roll call through your police department or your sheriff's department, they'll say, hey, a purple Toyota ABC 123 robbed the convenience store, and the deputies or police officers would, on their rounds, be looking for that purple Toyota. The license plate readers help in the sense that they can find that purple Toyota, but once they find that purple Toyota and that alert is sent out, your police department or sheriff does what they would do without the cameras. If they find the vehicle, they confirm, yep, that's a purple Toyota ABC 123. As they would today, they initiate a traffic stop and they go forth from there to identify the individual in the vehicle. So the cameras don't have access to BMV information or anything like that. So your police department still has to run all that information through your existing systems as they would with or without these cameras. So all those law enforcement databases and processes, they still have to go through when they identify the vehicle. This is just a slide to say that it works at night. We know that people travel at night, and so the cameras do work at night to capture the back of the vehicle or license plate. So again, the tool can be very effective when it comes to efficiencies, helping officers do their job, find that missing person a lot faster, find that individual that committed crime in your community a lot faster. But we all know as Americans that privacy is also very important. So we're going to walk through some of those elements that are built into the system today to ensure that that balance between public safety and privacy is preserved. So on the left-hand side of the screen, in the white, this overviews some of the main privacy features of the license plate readers. So when you see the word data, we're referring to the photos of the back of the vehicle. That's what data is. So the data, by contract, is 100% owned by the customers and is never sold. So contractually, the department owns the photos of that are taken by the cameras, and that information is not sold ever. So you might think of something like a social media site where they'll learn information about your buying habits and sell something like that. This product, our company does not do that. The second component is those private customers, so that mom and pop shop, that retail store, those types, they have no access into law enforcement databases. So only law enforcement can utilize the law enforcement, those hot lists, those databases. Now the private customers can give information to law enforcement. So let's say they had a break-in, they can feed that to law enforcement, but they get nothing back. So they have no access to that law enforcement data. There's a reason that we have sworn officers that are responsible for handling that information. The data, again, those photos, they delete after 30 days. So here in Ohio, it's 30 days. Certain states have different laws that regulate it, but here it's 30 days. So why is that 30-day mark important? It's important for two reasons. One, it allows enough of a window where those photos can be useful for a police investigation while having a finite period of time where that data is hard deleted, so it's not sitting out there in perpetuity. And that data is hard deleted and unrecoverable, which means that, like for example, we'll have agencies call our company and say, hey, we had a crime that happened 33 days ago. Can you pull a photo? The answer is no. It's hard deleted after 30 days. The only exception is if there is a plate that hits on a confirmed crime and your department can download that plate as evidence for a trial or the investigation. So outside of that, all of the data is deleted after 30 days. As we discussed, they have no access to personally identifiable information. So it gets a picture of the back of the vehicle. So it does not know who's driving, what they had for lunch, their social security number, their B&B records, anything like that. And then sharing is also another important component. So when you sign up with Flock, there is zero sharing. That's where you start. But certain, most communities do decide to share at some level. So what does that mean? That means that you can collaborate with law enforcement around you, either, let's say, in your county, in your region, in your state, as well as nationwide. And the reason that departments choose to do that is because you'll hear stories of a missing person that, went missing in Ohio and was found in Florida. Or, a ring of issues. I live in Cleveland, a ring of issues in Cleveland, and they track somebody down to Atlanta, right? So there's reasons why law enforcement, with or without our cameras, they collaborate all the time on ongoing investigations that happen in the community. But importantly, if they choose to share and with whom is completely up to the agency. On the right-hand side, this is all of the data security certifications that we go through. So even though the data on the server is public license plate, public road, so it's publicly available information, the company still treats it very seriously. So the FBI, NAAA, that's the National Defense Authorization Act certified, SOC 2 and 3, there's no test after this, but you're welcome to look this all up after if you'd like. Those are independent stress tests to the servers in the system. So essentially it is third-party audits to ensure that the data is secure and that the system is safe. In addition to that, we just hired on a new Chief Information Security Officer, and they're bringing on an entire firm, I gotta find a better way to say it, but for lack of a better term, to try to attack our system to ensure that there are no vulnerabilities. So again, that stress test. So the company is really investing in ensuring that that data is safe and secure. Transparency, also incredibly important. So on the right-hand side of the screen, this is called the transparency portal. These are optional, but it's just a public website that talks about your system. How many cameras do you have? Do you share with people? If so, who? What it captures, what it doesn't, things of that nature. These components are also extremely important. So usually within a department, there are a select group of trained police officers that have access to the system, and you'll have one administrator. So all of those officers have an ID. So when they go into the system, let's say they're looking for that purple Toyota, ABC 123, anytime they look for something, they look up a plate, it is all logged into perpetuity. So if you wished every day you could pull the audit log and to see exactly how the system is being used. So having a unique ID, as well as why are you searching the system, for what reason, and you can also put in a case number in there. It allows for your administrator, your chief, or your sheriff to constantly be monitoring the use of the system to ensure that it's being used properly, and that's that permanent audit trail. So the photos delete after 30 days, but you can go back as long as you want to see how the system was used locally, and you can pull those audits whenever you want. We encourage folks to pull those audits, and we're also developing additional auditing tools as well. So again, from our perspective, folks that put on a badge every day and wake up and protect their community, their neighborhoods, do so for the right reason and serve honorably. In the very few out of our 6,000 communities, the few and far between cases of misuse, number one, are caught through the system. And number two, if that happens, and again, it is very few and far between, we encourage those law enforcement agencies to do what they would do with any other misuse. And that is to provide discipline, and in some cases, it's illegal as well. So it's the same process. So impact, importantly, these are just some news headlines from around the country on how the products has been used, the cameras have been used. This is nationwide. And then here in Ohio,
Southern Detroit.
Here in Ohio, over 350 law enforcement agencies utilize Flock. Here are just a few of them. And then these are some real-life examples from the news of how the product has been used, how the Flock cameras have been used to support public safety. This is all the time. Hit and run is a huge thing. Unfortunately, it happens way too often. And when that happens, the cameras are able to identify those responsible for it. So this is a 7-year-old out of Akron. The suspect was ID'd with Flock cameras. Robbery out of Ontario, and this is a Best Buy robbery. Again, this is a business that was impacted by crime that the cameras were able to help with. A homicide out of Dayton. Obviously a homicide, this is on the serious side of things, but far too many homicides across the country go unsolved. And so the tool is able to help solve homicides as well. So another component too is we're proud of our partners. And so these are folks that fully support us and that we partner with on a regular basis. So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children partner with us, obviously, for that work of finding missing and exploited children. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And then we've also been recognized by folks like the NAACP of Oakland about how the tool brings equitable justice and reduces bias. And that's all. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. So I think we'll start with the committee, if you don't mind. So I'm good. Committee have any questions? No? Okay. Well, I had put together a few questions, and some of them you had answered with your slideshow there. I appreciate that. Did you tell us where the data goes and for how long it's stored for? I understand it's deleted after 30 days.
Yep.
Where does the data go, I suppose? Does our police department keep it here, at least what we have, or?
So the data is stored in a walled-off section of AWS Gov Cloud server. So AWS Gov Cloud is one of the highest security level servers, and it is all stored in USA-based servers. So 100% American servers.
Okay. Has your data ever been hacked?
No.
No?
So, you can go on YouTube and see videos of people pulling our cameras apart. Yeah, we don't know how they got their hands on it. It's illegal to rip one off the things, but that's neither here nor there. But if you actually watch their videos, they admit to the fact that they did not get into the servers, they did not get into customer data, they did not get into any of that information. So they were essentially able to find factory settings of the video when they pulled the cameras apart.
Okay. And one of my bigger questions that I have, the amount of cameras we have in our town is 33. I believe that's correct. Is that 33 or 34? Is that a typical amount of cameras for a town our size, or is that overkill, under?
So truth be told, I was not a part of setting the camera locations here, so I don't have all the background there, but generally folks want to cover entrance and exit routes of the community. They want to cover highway exchanges, busy parts of town. So the truthful answer is it just depends on the layout of the town, the geography, amount of entry, exits, things like that. But when you start with a company, the PD will sit down with our engineering team to determine all of that.
Okay.
But it completely depends.
So there's not really any restrictive placement, you think, within towns? Is there restricted areas that they can go?
Just on public right of way.
That's it?
So yeah, it could be a county road, it could be a local road, those types of things. And they face the road because they're capturing the vehicle on the road.
Well, I guess what's the process for where the cameras get placed? How do we decide if this one's going to go in front of this person's house or out in front of this person's house or not?
So when you sign up with Flock, our team will work with the local PD or the local sheriff to make those determinations. So they'll say, hey, we're having a lot of issues at this retail center. Can we put one outside the retail? I'm making this up, but just can we put one outside the retail center? Or hey, this is a really busy entry-exit way of the community. Can we put them there? So all of those decisions, there's quite a few meetings that go into it, and they're determined by that. They can also be moved. So let's say you've got a camera in place and it's really not doing much for you, or yeah, we signed up with Flock 2 years ago and now we got a real problem area that's popping off somewhere else, so you can work with our team to do that. But there's just, usually when they sign up, PDs and communities will generally know problem areas, busy entrance and exits, things like that. And generally that's where they put them.
Okay.
And then that's determined by the community.
Okay, and then finally, if you don't mind, what are just some common concerns from communities that you visit, that you hear about with the system, I suppose? What are common complaints?
Sure. So I would say that depending on where I'm at, it's different. I hear a lot of concerns about the federal government and or the state government, depending where it is, can they access the footage? The answer is that the community controls that sharing. So you can say, we want to share with nobody, we want to share with the county, the state, nationwide. Now, importantly, the federal government is not in, so let me take one step back. There's kind of three ways to share. First is one-on-one relationships. So that is, you all, I'm going to, again, make this up for the conversation tonight. You want to share with Mansfield. So you can call Mansfield and say, hi, your PD would say, we want to share with you. We believe we can work together on investigations and missing people. Mansfield has the full right to say no, yes, or they could say, yeah, we'll share with you for 6 months, see how it goes, and then stop. So those decisions are made by the community. So you can do one-on-one sharing. You can also do statewide sharing. So that essentially means you're opting into a statewide sharing where other communities in Ohio that have also opted into statewide sharing can collaborate on their data, or you can do what's called nationwide lookup, and it's the same thing. Folks that have opted into nationwide lookup could work with each other on each other's cameras. couple things, all that's logged, so you'll be able to, so let's say you're in statewide lookup. You'll be able to see anybody that has, looked to see if one of their suspect plates has hit your cameras. All that information is logged into perpetuity. The other thing too is the federal government is not in state or national lookup. So like if you wanted to share with USPS, and quite frankly a lot of folks do, there's a lot more crime issues around the mail service than we might think, you would have to proactively reach out to USPS and say, hey, we want to share with you because we're having issues with mail theft, for example. So all those sharing concerns are done locally, and you can control, and you can also revert them at any time. So let's say the sheriff or the community says, we've been sharing with Columbus, we don't want to anymore. You can always revert them. So sharing is always a common question that we get. How's that work? The data retention is a common question we get. How long is in the questions that you're asking tonight? How long is it retained? That kind of information. We get a lot of questions of, does it do the work of existing police systems? Can it pull DMV? Can it tell you who's in the car? The answer is no to those. The police officers themselves have to do that when they identify a vehicle. Let's see, what other common questions do we get? The identifying information, the data retention, the sharing, we get a lot of questions on. Those are kind of the main, I would say, topics that we hear from.
Okay, certainly. So you would say it's just up to the city to adopt policy for controls of the system as well, correct?
Yeah. So whoever's the customer, so if it's the county or the city, absolutely they can set policies on the use of the system.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for answering all my questions. Does anybody else from the committee have any questions for him?
No, thank
Okay.
you.
We'll open it up for the public. Please come forward. State your name and
Matthew
address.
Cooper, 844 Congress Street. All right, so we talked a lot about license plate readers today, right? So you guys offer any other type of products at the slot?
Yep. So we've got live cameras, we've got drones. A lot of fire departments are utilizing those now. So yes, we have other products, software products. But I believe here in Marion, is it only license plate? Yeah. So here it's only license plate.
There's no Falcon cameras here?
Do we have live cameras here? I don't believe so. No. So just license plate.
Only license plates? All right, so if it's only license plates, then the council and the government here should probably not have any problem with banning anything other than just license plates, right? So we to do a CCOPS, a community over police surveillance. That's probably the way we should go, because if you guys are the ones that are not sharing all the data, then it's somebody else. So we need to do a community over police surveillance. All right, so look, you said that you can, you keep saying, oh, well, we keep mentioning a purple car or a silver car, so your cameras can tell color.
Yes. They take a photo of the back of the vehicle. So whatever you can capture in that back of the vehicle is what they can capture.
So it could say it has a dent on the left corner panel.
If it's significant enough, yes.
It also say it has a tattoo on its left shoulder, right?
No, it doesn't capture any.
So it can tell color and descriptions of vehicles.
Correct.
But you don't think that this has, so you said this doesn't have, okay. So.
Yeah, and I can just show you again what an example that looks like.
Yeah.
Is this or this.
Okay. That didn't look like a dent on the color.
I don't know that this car is a dent, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
much
vehicle fingerprinting. All right. So what is vehicle fingerprinting? Tell them.
Sure. Vehicle make, body type, color. These are all the categories that it can pick up on.
So if it can do that to a car, do you think the technology can do it to a person?
Well, what I can speak to is our cameras, sir, and our cameras do not identify any people.
What, the license plate readers or the live cameras?
Well, a live camera can see a person, yes, but it doesn't know. Any live camera can see a person, sir.
Oh, okay. So can your live cameras tell the difference between color on a shirt
color on his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a live camera and you were watching a live camera, like your Ring camera at home or whatever, yeah, you could probably see the shirt color.
Yeah, my Ring camera tells me that there's people hanging upside down
So if you just think about like if you're watching a live camera store, if you
Were
took your
you guys
iPhone out,
partnered with Ring?
Sorry?
Were you guys just formally partnered with Ring?
We were, yes.
Yeah, so in my Ring camera can tell me that there's a white guy walking up to the front door with a package that's red with a bow on top of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your cameras can say
No,
that
no,
too.
sir. So let me, I'm
Thanks.
happy to
Thank
explain
you.
the Ring
Thank you.
partnership.
That's all you need to know.
The Ring part, so we know, but you brought up, so I'm happy to speak to it. So Flock worked with Ring for a period of time, and what Ring cameras do, and they could do, is if a crime occurred in your neighborhood, Ring would send a notification out to those customers to say, hey, a crime was committed in your neighborhood. Would you like to send your local police department any video that you might have? So you had to opt into the notifications and then opt into sending any information to your local police department. The information was then sent and it could interface with our platform. So for example, if Marion had our platform, and again, the partnership is no longer there, but if they had our platform and the resident said, yes, A, I want to receive requests, and then B, I want to, if I got a request, you'd have to say, yes, I would like to share this with the local police department because I might have video. So, but that was managed by Ring, not us, that part of it. And those were not our cameras, sir. Those were Ring cameras.
Hold on. Go ahead. He's had his hand up.
Now I have to read this again, okay? But there was a story about a block camera that took a picture of a vehicle. And it
Your
was
name and address,
identified.
please. Your name and address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lonnie Daniels, 608 Decatur Street, Marion, Ohio. Okay. Anyway, the story was, I mean, I only saw it like yesterday. It was like block camera took a picture of a license plate that was identified to be stolen. So they tracked the car down. The driver, for his part, exasperated the issue by walking away from the vehicle, so that's suspicious. They ordered him to stop, he kept walking, they set the K9 on him. Then it was found out later that that it wasn't so much that they at the police department misidentified the vehicle as being stolen when it wasn't. So of course the guy sued, and of course they had to settle out. But I guess maybe it was just in case somebody brought that up tonight, because it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have brought that up before, where it's like, well, what happens if they misidentify, because those stoplight cameras down there in Columbus have done that all the time. They've got no recourse. So it's like the idea on people's minds, it's like, well, what happens if the block camera does it too? I mean,
No, really important question. So if the camera gets a misread, so the cameras are around 95% accurate. So for the 6,000 communities across the country that use them on a regular basis, they use them every single day, you know, find missing people, to solve crime. You don't hear about that in the news, right? So your officers that are doing the right thing and utilizing them to keep communities safe, what you really hear in the news, as you noted, is if there's ever a wrong read. So what we encourage every single time is, so that, again, the make-believe purple Toyota I've been referencing. Let's say it's a purple Toyota ABC 123, and a flock camera hits it, and your patrol officer pulls behind that vehicle, just as they would if they had a readout during roll call, purple Toyota ABC 123, we encourage them to please confirm visually, the physical police officer, yes, indeed, that's the purple Toyota ABC 123, prior to making a stop to ensure that accuracy. So the misreads are very few and far between. An officer pulling them over on a misread is even less common, because again, generally officers will confirm that's the vehicle we're looking for. But it has happened, and when that does happen, you know, we've got engineers on our team that ensure that those issues are fixed. But again, it is few and far between that an officer acts on a misread. You'll hear about it in the news, but we still take it very seriously.
Now, how long have you been in business, sir?
9 years, sir.
Well, this situation happened back in 2024,
Okay.
so, they just settled
I
that
see.
board,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that had anything to do with your company, except other than the information sets, but.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels.
G. Faulkner, 572. And I don't have council person at this point. I do want to thank you for speaking so I can hear. Because I never can hear all the rest, I just got to assume what they're saying. But I understand and I appreciate you speaking up.
I was a second grade teacher, so.
Do we have the cameras now?
We do.
So what's all this for?
A Q&A, transparency from
Okay.
the flock system itself was the hope, so.
But yes, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew, you could understand every word that young man said.
I have trouble hearing too, so I appreciate that.
Yes, I want to stick a microphone in every one of your hands because I can't understand what you're saying. But he spoke very well. I understand what he's saying. And like I say, I'm just a little old lady that don't have a council person. So
You have 3 at-large that represent you. Right now, you have
that's
3
why I can
at-large.
use you guys.
We're here.
But that's all. I got a whole list of things I want to say, but I won't take up your time. And thank you very much.
Good evening, council, neighbors.
Just state your name and address.
Kelly Haynes, 160 Sharpless Court, and everyone else who showed up because you care about Marion's future. I have a couple questions, because I've been a victim of identity mishaps in Marion. And boy, I tell you, when it happens, it can ruin your life, right? So we want to ask some things. There's a lot of nonsense that's happening around this contract, and the public, I think, deserves to know the truth. Our county walked away from the contract, correct? Did the county walk away from the contract? No? No. This is the city.
They don't have money.
Right. The county said they didn't have the money as far as I'm concerned, I thought. That the county said they walked away because they couldn't afford it. And then the sheriff signed the contract that the city never approved. I don't know, something like this. I may get it wrong, but it sounds like this. Discretionary money was used to cover the city share. And now there's somehow this surveillance system that's being pushed like it's a necessity, like we're Gaza.
These are covered.
You know?
These are covered by grant funds.
Instead of a luxury. Is this a luxury? It might be a luxury. I don't know if this is necessary. You know? Meanwhile, in Marion, the city is in physical caution. Right? We're in physical caution. So everybody's supposed to be cutting budgets. So what are your receipts that show that this has stopped crime or helped crime in Marion? We want some receipts. We got a lot of questions. Hold on. Let me get done with this. There's this surveillance system that's being forced through the back door with money we don't have. We don't have it. We ain't got no money.
Miss Haynes, if I may, this gentleman is from Flock Cameron. He has no idea about Marion.
This is a contract, right? Is this a contract that we are entering into?
No.
It was paid for with grant funds.
When does it expire?
When does it expire?
June 30th.
Okay, so why are we talking about it now? Because we're going to need money for it. That's why.
If we don't,
People ask.
well, they can bring it to council if they're
I know
looking for
there's money.
funds.
That's why we need to put some oversight on it.
So what problems is Flock actually solving here in Marion? These cameras have been up for the county, countywide since 2023, fully active by early 2024, right? Oh, okay. We've had over a year of data, which we can't really even see. I am certified by the Attorney General and the Auditor of State to do public records. Can we get into this system and see what you have?
No, ma'am. So, two things. The state of Ohio, by law, the license plates themselves are not public record.
Okay.
We can see them in the public, we can see everybody.
That's correct.
So anything that's seen in the public, we should have access to as the people.
State
We
law,
the
ma'am.
people. That's state law.
That is state law.
That is state law, that if it's in view of the people, in the public, we should have access to it.
So, sorry if I misspoke. State law exempts the photos that are taken by license plate readers from public record. It exempts them.
But, or the police can say that they, because you're in public, they can look at your license plate. So the police are allowed to say that in public, they can look at your license plate, then the public can say that they can look at your license plate.
Yeah, I mean, anyone could stand on the street.
From the audience.
Yeah.
So these cameras have been up in our county, and we've had over a year of this data, and we want to know how many crimes has it actually prevented in Marion? How many false alerts has it generated? How many innocent people were stopped, right? Because of a camera misread, a plate. How many officer hours were wasted chasing bad leads? If we're paying for a tool, we deserve evidence, right? We deserve that evidence. If are we paying for this? You're getting grant money, but it's grant money that we should be able to say how the grant money is being used. It's not good.
That's not the way grants work.
That's not. It's not.
I need to bring, the chatter from the public has to come to a minimum, or we will have to stop the meeting, and then nobody's questions will get answered. Please.
Okay. So departments are tightening the belts. The county already has backed out, from what I'm hearing. I don't know, because they can't afford it. So why are we discussing renewing this contract? Like, why is this being brought up now? Because that's what this, at the end of the day, that's what I get from it. We're worried, we want to do a presentation and get this back.
May I respond? Okay. The whole reason for this meeting was because Ms. Kimberly Mayer has brought up on several occasions her concerns about the flock cameras. The flock camera grants run out this year in May or June, whenever that is, and we have no intention of spending. Now, the sheriff may apply for another grant to continue, but at this point, the city has no intention of introducing legislation to continue these flock cameras, which cost $3,000 a month.
A year.
Or a year, excuse me. And so that's where we stand. This meeting was just, we asked this gentleman to come down because Kimberly Mayer has asked several questions. There is no ongoing legislation to continue this program.
Okay, because that brings a lot of concerns, you know, there's concerns about this, the misidentification, the Fourth Amendment, the flock cameras, do they just read the plates, like what Mr. Matt was talking about? They track movement, they build patterns, they create a searchable history. Is that a searchable history?
No, there's no searchable history unless your license plate over 30 days was connected to a crime or missing person.
So what I get from that is it's mass surveillance. Mass surveillance, and it deserves scrutiny. I think our Fourth Amendment wasn't written for decoration. It was written to protect people from suspicious list tracking. And we should also be talking about transparency again. Because before anyone tries to reassure us with the word transparency, let's make something clear. The public can't see how Flock tracks us. But Flock, the sheriff, and outside agencies, they can. Under Ohio law, residents can request the contract, the policies, the audit logs, the invoices, and the list of agencies with access. But we cannot see our own movement history, individual scars, or how often, or excuse me, individual scans, or how often our plates are flagged. Flagged. I know I'm on your hot list. I know I'm on the hot list. Am I on the hot list, Colin? Do you know? Hey, when y'all put that AKA Mark Jones on my name, y'all put me on the hot list. Okay? Y'all did that. You were on the forces. You were under leadership when that happened. Flock says that they've never been hacked, but the U.S. senators had to call for a federal investigation because stolen police logs for Flock were already found on Russian cyber crime forums. Is that true?
No.
No, that's not true. Never. Fact.
Senator Wyden asked for an investigation, but whether access to our servers was on a Russian, that is a hoax. They were not on a Russian server.
It's a hoax.
Like the Giants.
Fake news.
Our systems have never been hacked. There's no evidence of that. Whether, we've heard the same comments up from the internet that someone in Russia, it's just there's no evidence of it. It's not true.
But there was an investigation that was called for. There was an investigation.
Senator Wyden wrote us a letter. We met with him as early as this week.
Okay.
Working with his staff.
So you're still working with him, and is the investigation ongoing?
He wrote a letter.
He wrote a
I
letter,
don't
but
know
is
that I would
it?
call that investigation.
Okay.
And
But
we're
there
happy
was
to
an
engage-
investigation
yeah,
that
happy
was
to
called for by
engage.
U.S. senators, not just him.
Well, we're working, he's the one senator that I'm aware of, and we're working with him. We met with him this week.
I think we should be, really
Happy to
fearful
do so.
people. I think we should be fearful. And let me tell you why this matters to me. I know what it feels like when a system gets your identity wrong. I know what it feels like when a mistake in a database becomes a shadow that follows you everywhere you go. I know what it feels like to be labeled, flagged, and treated like a problem instead of a person. So when I hear trust the system, I don't hear safety. I hear risk, I hear danger, I hear the possibility of another misidentification that could cost someone their freedom, their dignity, or their life.
Ms. Gray. We'll get to you right after Ms. Gray.
Amy Craig, 365 Silver Street. So the first thing, I'm sorry, I don't care what you say about the timing and the funding. We've had these things for well over a year, and now like 2 months before their funding is set to expire, and we don't know if we're gonna have a grant or not. We have a whole presentation about them. So that seems suspect, and I'm not the only one
Well,
that's saying that.
I asked specifically if this gentleman would come in because
I get
I didn't
that.
have all the answers to the questions that were being asked.
And I appreciate
And
that.
I
but
can
do
tell
see from
you-
our perspective how it seems
I
a
do,
little
I
sus,
do.
especially with the money situation that
I
we're
mean,
in right now.
I do a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
But
Well, I appreciate you
with
at
the money situation being what it is, I can also tell you that if we don't get grant funding, I will not support it. So-
And I believe that, but what I believe is going to happen is I believe that Chief McDonald will move money around within his department and get this contract paid for anyway. So what I'm going to ask if that happens, because I do believe if we don't get the grant, that's what's going to happen. The FOP president, state president is not going to give up flock cameras in his town. And if we all think that any police department in the state of Ohio is going to tell the FOP president, no, we're not going to share our information with you, we're lying to ourselves, okay? But I want to talk about how many cameras. We've got 33 cameras in Marion County. 34. City of Columbus. The city of Columbus has 40 cameras. 1.5 million people live in the city of Columbus, and an estimated 500,000 people drive in and out, go to work, et cetera, et cetera. So 2 million people a day are in the city of Columbus, and they have 6 more cameras than we do. Just from a money perspective, think about that. The city of Columbus has 40 cameras, Marion County has 33. Okay, you talk about putting them in problem areas. I can tell you where the problem areas are in town. They're the poor neighborhoods, because that's where the flock cameras are sitting. If this is about checking people, we want to get people coming in and out of town when they're kidnapping our kids or our elderly residents or whatever, why are they only not at the entrances and exits of town? Why is there one sitting in the middle of Mark Street? Why is there one on Fairground Street? Poor neighborhoods? How many of you guys got over there in the 6th Ward?
I know, I only know of one.
Okay, I can.
That I know of, and that's it.
A quarter of a mile of my
Well, you're
house
not
right now.
interested in hearing my answer, so I'll.
Come on, audience,
Okay,
please.
I'd like to hear your
East
answer.
Center and Jefferson,
Okay, and Jefferson is,
and that's where the
Jefferson's the hood,
Yeah.
I can say it, I live over there.
north,
I can say it, when you live in the hood, you're allowed to say
I
it.
think it's a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
I think
didn't
Mark
say it
Street's
was-
a nice
I didn't
neighborhood.
say it was a bad neighborhood, we are considered the hood, you don't live over there, you don't know how we're treated.
I grew up over there.
Okay, well, you don't live there now, and you don't know how we're treated now, okay?
I'm sorry.
You don't.
Okay.
Have you ever had the police refuse to take a report at your house because you live on, what side of town you live on?
I've never filed a police report since I've lived in
Okay, so then you've never
there.
had them refuse to take one when somebody threatened to murder you, did you? Some
No
of
one's
us are a
ever
little
threatened to murder
less
me.
trusting of the police than you, okay? So we get to be heard tonight as well, all right? He talked about Ring doorbells. All right, I don't even want to get this into the same conversation as Ring doorbells, because Ring doorbells are something that private citizens choose to use and pay for. And if I accidentally catch you on my Ring doorbell, I'm not turning you into the cops. And if I did, they probably wouldn't take a report anyway. As far as, I had to get up and walk out, I'm sure you guys noticed. As far as you sitting up here selling us with all this crap, all these crimes that these people solve, you should know that our county can't, this city can't solve a murder with a confession for 43 years. Okay, so, the flock cameras, whatever, all right. I bet you didn't know. Are you familiar with the Electronic Freedom Foundation?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that Marion, Ohio has used our cameras for purposes other than crimes, missing children, missing elderly? The No Kings rallies, the Electronic Freedom Foundation did an audit. The No Kings rallies. This city accessed those cameras twice and used the reason, no kings and protest. Not crime, not missing person, not endangered elder, not robbery, not any of those other things. People protesting, people, their First Amendment protected activities, and our law enforcement's making a list of who's there.
Yep.
You cool with that?
I'm clearly not going to comment on something that I'm not familiar with.
Okay, it happened, because I have the documentation, and I would have printed it out for them, but they typically don't care what I have to say, so I didn't bother. I will be glad to forward it on to anyone that does care, though, okay? This can create an entire picture of where we've been, and they keep saying it expires in 30 days, it expires in 30 days. As soon as the PD downloads it, it's forever. And now, our information is stored somewhere forever. And am I mistaken, are public, or private citizens able to buy access to the system?
No.
Private citizens cannot access flock cameras?
Correct.
Okay, so there are other camera systems that people are tracking X's with, they're doing stalking type things like, I know you were at such and such's house, and it seems like also, back to the core neighborhood thing, they're using to be, this is a high drug area, so we're gonna monitor all the cars that come and go. That's not fair. That's surveillance. That's mass government surveillance is what that is. And what I'm gonna ask is when this comes back through, this contract gets reconfirmed, because we know it will by one way or another, we'll get some sob story about it's for the children or whatever. But we need a civilian oversight and a transparent reporting system when the technology is used, and we need to be told when it's accessed. So once a month, when you're getting your information system reports, was the flock cameras used this month? What were they used for? Was it a good reason? Okay, and then that should be a report that the public can access. Because if we're being monitored while we're at rallies, while we're out doing our constitutionally protected activities, we should know about that. Yeah, I'm out in public, but I don't need to be put on a list because I'm standing there with a sign. How un-American is that? Budget authority belongs to you, so when this money situation comes around, put some strings to it. Ask for that report. You know, even if we get the grant, they've got to run it through you before they spend it. Attach some strings to it. I mean, you can see people are clearly angry, and we know what you all think of us. We hear how you whisper about us while you're talking to us. But I was wondering how many cameras are paid for out of the Marmet budget? Any Marmet funds paid for flock cameras?
Of course. There was a couple cameras, I don't have the exact figure, but I want to say maybe $6,000, something like that. Was that? I don't have that.
So we're using money outside of grant money to pay for flock cameras also?
I think that was either a year ago or 2 years ago.
But in the past, we have used money other than grant money to pay for flock cameras. So it's within the realm of possibility that we use money other than grant money to pay for flock cameras again. I'm not up here just grasping straws here.
And there's more than that.
You know, this is a liability, especially now that we know that people are being surveilled while they're out protesting. The city police department violated my First Amendment right when they did that, okay? So I would suggest that you start asking for these reports, otherwise I'm going to start raising holy hell. And I think we know that I'm willing to take things to federal court, to the civil level. And if you want to continue to violate our rights, you're setting yourselves up for a lawsuit. If you want this to be done with transparency to the community, attach some strings to it.
Thank you for your concerns. Please, sir.
Grubbs, 3476 Hellman Ford Road, Morrow, Ohio.
Okay,
I make a motion, we let him speak.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Wait a second.
I need to take a vote.
We have to vote to allow you to speak.
Please call the roll.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, again, Michael Grubbs, 3476 on the Ford Road. I heard rumors of that information. I didn't have that yet. I submitted a request to get that last week. I haven't heard anything back yet, but that'll be interesting. Yeah, I have a serious problem with this because I also attend protests. I hold signs. So am I on a list?
Yep. You are.
Who documents this stuff? And
The sheriff and the chief of police.
are they here?
I will just say from our perspective, that is the first that not the first, but that's the second time that I've heard about this No Kings Rally stuff. I have no idea about any of that whatsoever. However, if anyone has information about that being used inappropriately, it'd be my recommendation. Share that with me. I'd be happy to look at it, run an audit, or do whatever.
So I'm sorry, but there's been several, these have been on the news. I have to question, I'm sorry, but I have to question when you say you've never, this is the first time we've heard of it.
Yeah.
We've had protests like almost every month. Not only just the No Kings are the big ones. But
I think what he's saying is that's the first time he's heard that the cameras were misused for that purpose, for the protest.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought, yeah, that's why I was thrown off.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. Anyway, so what's the steps if this is misused? What happens if let's say, the sheriff decided to use this and it was inappropriate?
That would be more a question for us. So we have internal policies that govern that, as does the sheriff's office.
Okay.
And then as he indicated earlier, if it could be in the realm of criminality as well. What they did was improperly access information, it could be against the law as well.
So my question then is, if they use this camera to surveil peaceful protesters, to identify them, would that be a violation?
It absolutely could be a violation, yes.
Okay.
It could be.
Because I wanted to come up here and be like, that threw me. So, yeah, I'm not happy that this is happening. I don't like the fact that it seems like the public has no information. We have to basically do a trust me bro on this. We can't access it ourselves. And we're dealing with a city that can't manage money. And we're supposed to trust you with this?
Well, I guess I would just say, I would ask you to use the same discretion in trusting things that you see on the internet. You don't know that that's true any more than what we're telling you to be true.
Okay, so there's money then? There's no shortfall?
No, I'm talking about our cameras being used for No Kings rallies. I'm just saying,
Until I see the data, as far as I'm concerned, I don't trust you. You guys you can't handle money. You suck at handling money. We have an $8 million shortfall. Nobody knows what 13?
Well, before it happens in the county.
But regardless, there's a freaking shortfall, and what are we doing?
Surveilling our city.
We're surveilling? Yeah, thank you. We're surveilling ourselves? Why? What's the point?
Not ourselves, just us.
What is the freaking point? This is stupid. We should be focusing on the fact that we don't have any money, we don't know where it went, but instead, this is what we're doing. We want to surveil our citizens because maybe they might be doing something. Well, gee, I don't know, maybe point the cameras at you guys because you guys are really fucking up.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, I used harsh language.
Yes.
And you know what? Somebody has to.
Still First Amendment protected.
Come on, you don't have to use that word.
It's still First Amendment protected.
So, that's all I have, thank you.
You said I need to get what under control?
You need to get the,
I can hear. I think it's under control. The community is speaking. Please.
Hello, Bevan Peppard, 858 South Prospect Street. And this is probably more for like BJ and John. So I'm just wondering, like, when you do a historic search, or if you if you are flagging a plate as associated with a crime, what is the level of that crime? Is that, a grab and go from the Circle K? Or is that like a murderer? You know what I
It could be used
mean?
for all of those things. What we've specified in our policy is that it can't be used for traffic incidents or minor misdemeanors.
So does it issue tickets or ours don't?
No.
Okay. But it's pretty like,
It doesn't catch violations. We have to look for a vehicle and identify what crime we're, have to put right in there what the crime is that we're investigating.
so it sounds like there's really, and that's very loose as far as like how they can use it. This is not like a lead situation where,
But what we've done is, I believe we've made it mandatory. It's not a mandatory aspect of the system, but we have made it mandatory that they have to enter a case number or a calls for service number, which you are familiar with, that connects that back to the call that they're investigating. So they would have to manufacture a calls for service in order to fudge that in any way.
so the story about the whole like no kings being put in as the reason, have you guys looked into that?
No, because I know the chief reached out to you and he mentioned that you didn't reach back out to him, so I wish that you would have so that maybe we could have
I mean,
figured
I
this out.
shared the story, so I mean, I'm sure you saw what it said, I just wondered.
And when I referenced the fact that I've only heard of that one other time, it was the conversation that you and the chief had, so I no other information about, I don't believe it to be true, but
But
if
we
I had.
checked, I mean, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
have not done an audit. I do know our supervisors have the capacity to do an audit. What else was done with it after that brief conversation with the chief, I don't know.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, will the audience please quit whispering? Come on, I've asked like 3 times.
I think those were my only questions, I just wanted, yeah, thank you.
Please. State your name and
Ashton
address.
Seals, 1920 Victory Road, Lot 164. I'm also one of the protesters. I know you say that these are unhackable, but someone with a short-range satellite nearby one of these with the right equipment can actually hack these. That information becomes available once they do. They can go back the full 30 days. I'm curious what protections you have in place for that, and especially considering these are not just recording license plates.
So, second part of it, explained earlier, it takes a photo of the back of the vehicle, right, so that's what it captures.
But as
including
the pictures
license.
show, it's quite a ways around the vehicle.
Yeah, it takes a
Yes.
picture of the back. of the
Yes, so there
vehicle.
will be pictures of people in the background, there will be faces, there will be.
Yeah, so just
events.
to be clear, there is no facial recognition. It is on roads in the back of the vehicle. So if
How do
someone's
you
like in the middle of
prove
the
that there is,
road,
how do you prove that there's no facial recognition when you're not sharing it with the public?
we don't have facial recognition, there's no evidence that no one has ever said that.
How do we know? As the public being surveyed, how do we know? Your word alone is not enough.
I mean, there's no evidence of our 6,000 communities ever utilizing this for facial recognition.
Yes, actually, there is.
Okay, well, what I will tell you is that the pictures are encrypted from front to back. So no, you cannot use a satellite to get in.
The pictures are, cameras are not.
Well, the
cameras themselves are not. You can get into those on the
You can
spot.
physically
With a
pull one
remote.
apart, yes, but
Yes.
you will not get into the servers, you will not
I
get
didn't
into
say
the...
take one apart. I said you can actually hack it remotely from right by the camera.
Okay, so what I will tell you is, so people usually talk about the data, the photos that's being captured. That is encrypted from front to back and
The
has never been
cameras are not.
accessed.
The cameras themselves are not.
I guess I don't know the difference of what
You're a flop person, you don't know the difference?
So you're saying that, what I'm saying to you is, our system, so when you talk about our cameras, they take a photo of the license plate. That information, that is the product of the camera.
But
that is
while the
encrypted.
camera is recording, while it is on, it can be accessed.
No, it
remotely.
can't. It's encrypted front to back, sir, I'm sorry.
It is not. And so you can prove it to us. I don't think anyone in Marion is gonna trust it. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Please.
Daniel Erickson, 912 Cambridge Avenue. I should say up front, I didn't come here to hear this. I didn't realize this was going to happen tonight. I came here for completely other reasons. So I have no notes. I have no particular agenda. What I do have is a lot of security cameras on my own home. which I paid for, and of course I paid for the, you know, the data management of all of that, and I can say in the years that I've had them, I never see anything interesting at all. But I have them there just in case. Now, the one question that's sort of been asked tonight, but I haven't heard an answer yet is, can somebody say that over the course of what, they've been in place for 2 years? Or a year? What, I don't know. I didn't know that we had these cameras, so I'm not that worried about it. I will agree with some of what's being said, that if they are being used to see who's coming to, you know, the No Kings rally, then I do have a problem with that. I'll make sure I look for the cameras and smile and wave when I'm there. But my question is, and I think people would like to know, in the time that they've been in use, what crimes have the cameras helped to solve? What, you know, have we had children abducted that the cameras helped to find? Have there been, you know, that's the information that I think people would like to hear about, because I agree with lots of what's being said. Now, if they're going to be funded by grants, then we can kind of take that off the table in terms of the financial problems that we have in the city, and whether some of it's going to that. If this is all being paid for with grants, then that conversation can end. Some of the other concerns I think are legitimate, but what I'd like to hear is, what have these cameras done to help catch criminals in our city? And that would have to go to law enforcement, and I don't know who.
Yeah, so multiple. I mean, in my 30 years that I've been around here, 33 years almost, it's the greatest technology in terms of allowing us to solve crimes. You know, I hear all the concerns about that, but the reality of it is, when it comes to solving crime, it's helped us tremendously. So we had a child that was abducted and transported over to Illinois that helped us locate that child. We had officers that were shot at a while back on a front porch. We were able to identify the vehicle out of that, multiple shooting incidents. So it's been critically important to us in terms of identifying vehicles. Especially we're in a situation now where we're down to 55 officers. We started this year with 61, 62. So that's a loss of 7 officers, which is critical. So this is a force multiplier. I would love to come to city council and say, hey, we want 10 more officers. I would prefer to have 10 officers over 34 cameras. But that's not going to happen.
No, but that's information that's really good to hear, because in all the conversation so far tonight, we've not heard any about that. So that's good to know. And if I were in your position, I would dig up some of that data and make that available to people to say, this is what it's done. Again, only for the purpose of saying they actually do serve a purpose, and if the grants come through, then they're not ignoring the other concerns. But again, I didn't come here to talk about flock cameras, so I really don't know. So I guess that's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I would just reiterate from the police department's perspective, because I've heard this concern multiple times about the No Kings rally. Like I said, I don't believe that to be true, but I will 100%, when we leave here today, we will go look at that. We'll conduct that audit, and we will check to see. I'm just curious what details are behind that, but I just don't. You know, the chief worked both of those No Kings rallies. He was primarily the one responsible for it.
Could you include council in anything you may
Sure,
find?
absolutely.
Thank you, appreciate that.
And I would say keep an eye out for this purple toilet roll. But also, if you know that that's the car, I know there aren't very many of those in there, it's probably pretty easy to find.
Okay.
But there's trouble.
Have to move forward on the map to the clerk.
And forward it to the clerk as well.
Please. Kevin Davis, President of the local FOG, Farm Police Station on Warren Lodge 24. I represent deputies and the police officers here. I want to reiterate what Major Gruber had said. These are.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your address?
2683 Current Drive, but I represent the Federal Police here tonight. As in Marion Township, the other cameras in my area. But I want to reiterate what Major Gruber had said. These are invaluable tools to this committee to solving crime. I want to thank you for being here and showing your presentation. It shows what can happen. If they're misused, there are recourses. We have other databases that police use. There's leads. There's all the stuff that we use as retired deputy sheriff. And those that are in law enforcement here know we work with people that have misused this stuff and have been dismissed from their positions and been charged criminally. So there are repercussions if you misuse any of these systems. And I know, and money is tight for everybody. Whether the sheriff's office can afford to keep this going on or not is still up in the air with that, and that's up to Steve, Sheriff Bales. But if any way possible, we can continue to use these to solve the crimes like Major Gruber talked about, the kidnappings and the murders and the shootings.
What murder?
You cannot put a price on the safety of our citizens. So, that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
And to answer your question, it was the Feliciano murder that was solved. They got this guy in Delaware County by flock cameras.
Wow.
Mr. Kreider, and then Mr. Smith.
Confession letters can't get murdered.
Scott Kreider, City Council at Large. Just to Mr. Harris's question, or Chief McDonald, when we first had this committee or the request for a speaker to come to flock, he presented information about what flock cameras have been used for. I'm sure if you had a request, he could get that information to you. So
There's several of those downstairs in the lobby.
okay, yeah. So I think that'd be helpful if people want to know reference that. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kreider. Who?
Can people from the city speak, please? We have Matthew Cooper, 844 Congress Street. Hot list. What's a hot list?
So generally, a hot list is a list of license plates that are affiliated with a crime or a misdemeanor.
Affiliated with a crime. So what does it take to be affiliated with a crime?
Again, those are all decisions made by local law enforcement.
What does it take to be affiliated with a crime?
What does it take to be affiliated with a crime?
Yeah, do you have to commit a crime?
You have to be a I would say a suspect.
A suspect. Do you have to commit a crime?
Do you want me to finish my answer?
I want you to tell me the answer that I'm asking. Do you have to commit a crime?
Mr. Cooper, can you please be respectful?
I'm
He's being very
respectful.
respectful.
Okay. Do you have to commit a crime?
You would be a suspect of a crime.
Do you have to commit a crime?
All right, so.
Is being a suspect illegal? Is being a suspect illegal?
It can be if you committed a crime. And we don't know that within 5 seconds.
So anybody, you could go rob a bank. You could go and jaywalk. You could live. What you have to say, sir?
Nothing.
What
I
you have to
said I
say? You
have
like
to
to
look
whisper in
at
those
this.
mics. When you like to whisper in them mics, I'm speaking right now, okay? Hot list. You don't have to be put on. What is the criteria for a hot list? It comes to these guys, right? For a hot list, you don't need to be committed of a crime. You don't have to be a suspect. I can suspect any of you guys of a crime.
Please address up here, Mr. Cooper. Just keep it up here.
If I suspect you of a crime, can I follow you around? Why can they do it?
I understand your question.
Okay, so what's it take? Okay, 30 days retention. If someone's on a hot list, how long is the retention?
30 days.
How long do you guys? How long is the retention on somebody on that's on your hot list? You guys own the data forever, right? They don't come off, do they?
I don't even know how to answer your question. I don't
Do
know.
people come off the hot list?
I have no idea.
Do you take them off? If you don't take them off, then they're never off, right? If people don't get taken off the hot list, they stay on there, right?
Again, we do not control hot lists, sir. Those are NCIS, Ohio.
Mr. Mark Russell said there was no hot list on November 24th.
Hold on. Mr. Cooper. If you're placed on the hot list, whatever the hot list is, does MPD put you on the hot list or not?
So my understanding, Major Schaefer, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, we're talking about like warrants and things like that, correct? When we're talking
No.
about.
If we're looking for somebody for a crime such as a hit skip or assault or somebody, then the officer will dispatch and put them.
But it would have to be a crime that's affiliated with one of our allowable searchable reasons to look for.
No, they can put you on a hot list, your house, if they go to a house and you're there when they're making it and they take your identity, they can be like, wow, this person's linked to this hot house. Now it takes a step, it takes a jump, don't it? Does that person get put on a hot list?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's an investigative hot list. It's not a crime hot list, it's an investigative hot list, is it not?
No. I don't know how to answer your question, Matthew.
Okay, you don't know how to answer whether if it's an investigative hot list or a criminal hot list.
I'm not familiar with the hot list. We have,
You don't know what a hot list is? Come on, BJ.
We have a couple different hot lists, so what you're talking.
Oh, you got more hot lists?
Yeah.
Who's on these hot lists?
That aren't necessarily affiliated with any of the stuff that you're talking about now.
Oh, so you got a lot of hot lists, huh? So you got a list of everybody in this town that you want to watch, right?
That I want to watch?
Oh, that any one of your officers want to watch, because they can put it on arbitrarily, right?
Not arbitrary.
Bullshit.
You would have a case number associated with it, and so I've explained.
Suspicious person is the case number, right? Suspicious person, that's a code, correct?
A code.
Oh, so a suspicious person gives you the right to put somebody on a hot list, right?
No.
Okay. Disorderly conduct's a crime, right?
Mr. Cooper, I think BJ Gruber has answered all your questions the best that he can. So
Okay.
we're going to move on to the next person.
Well, hot list? All right, go ahead.
So I'm gonna continue on with the hot list because, I had a felony placed on my name, associated with me. Am I on the hot list, BJ?
I have not seen.
Okay, well, the reason why I'm asking about this hot list is because the guns involved in this crime were AK-47s that were stolen, and they just were given back to him. They were just given back to this man, right? And so I have to worry about if I'm driving down the street, if they can use the flock cameras, right? Because his brother is also Highway State of Patrol, Chuck Jones, Superintendent of the Highway State Patrol. This man that you guys put an AKA, and you know about it. Because
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Mr. Collins, are you familiar with Mark Jones and an AKA being associated with my name? You don't know what
And it doesn't seem associated with Flock.
Yes, it is.
It does.
Because
And for this
right now,
meeting, what pertains to Flock, it doesn't pertain to.
NCI and all of these other agencies.
These questions don't pertain to Flock, I'm sorry.
Flock.
They don't.
Flock cameras surveillance us. The police use it, right? And they misuse it as well. If someone can use it, they can misuse it. So what I'm showing you is right now, right? I am in Leeds, BCI, NCIC, which is the National Crime Database, state and federal. And that was, Ms. Ballinger is the one who just wrote a nice letter to these agencies and said, you know what? She wasn't the one who committed the crime. It was associated with her social security number, but it's been attached to her for 7 years, where I couldn't feed my family. I couldn't keep my house. They did all these things to me knowingly. I took a test for the Ohio insurance agent to be licensed. I passed my class. It cost me a lot of money to take that course. And I can't be licensed because somebody screwed up. The police department first with the AKA, Ben Graff. You, John Schaefer, were the one who corrected it.
Keep it up
Since
here.
they
please.
don't know.
Mr. Schaefer's not up here.
Okay, Mr. Schaefer, but they were talking to him and they asked him questions, right? So, Mr. Schaefer, were you associated with that AKA being attached to my name and correcting it?
Correct.
So, it did happen. He didn't know about it and he didn't know about it, but Schaefer knows about it. This is what I'm talking about. Misuse of systems. So I am terrified when I hear another tool that police can use or misuse. Do you understand? My home that I own, 142 South Vine Street, next door to J.C. Ratliff's office. I grew up next door to him, right? My uncle, Rex Sheffield, first black police officer. My home was stolen from me by this county. My children were taken from me to keep me silent, to shut me up. Mr. Collins said I was mental. Right, Mr. Collins? I'm certified by the Ohio Attorney General and by the state auditor, Keith Faber. But I'm mental, according to Collins. And I believe it was BJ who found the report that said it. Right? So what's really going on? Because everyone denied that any of this stuff happened to me up until I found a document that
we're
shows
here to talk about flock cameras.
flock cameras is mass surveillance,
Okay.
and police can misuse it. So that's the point in this.
Okay. We're working towards bettering that for the community.
Then don't give us flock.
Ms. Mayor, please come forward.
Hi. Kimberly Mayer, 890 Gibbard. I wanted to ask if anyone from City Council told the public about these cameras prior to them going up.
I think there were, Speaking with Mr. Schauber, there was several meetings leading up to them, I thought.
Yeah.
Is that-
There were.
There was.
Okay, so there were, okay. So we talked about it, about getting the cameras, and y'all passed it, and then they were put up, or were they put up? And then they were, because I remember seeing a post, and I thought it was Mr. Schauber saying, we didn't know anything about it, or something, there was some kind of something.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You are 100% right. I was in the audience and I was not on council. The sheriff in the county got the grant. The sheriff, and it was not costing the city any money at all.
At that time.
Right. And the sheriff is the overriding law enforcement officer in the county of Marion. So he and Chief McDonald together decided where to place the cameras in the city, but there were cameras up before it was brought to council. You are correct in that
Which is
statement.
why, yeah, which is why I've had a big deal. It's that post that Mr. Schauber put is when I became aware of these flock cameras. And anybody that knows me knows I was furious about these flock cameras because I don't try to go around committing crime, so I ain't trying to be like, oh, trying to hide from the cameras. In fact, I do have a question for you because yesterday I went out with my camera and I went up to the camera and I was like, okay, I see the lens and it's facing this way. And so I took a picture trying to get an idea of what it was doing because there's houses that are involved. Like if it's aimed at it, I seen the picture that you had and that looked like a really close up back end of the car. But if it wasn't a close up, then it could get other things, which are people's houses, as in like 877 Bellefountain Avenue, 883 Bellefountain Avenue, 871 Bellefountain Avenue, 524 South Prospect Street, 528 South Prospect Street, 532 South Prospect Street, near that split, 423 and Route 4. There's also some up there by, there's a lot of them, but there's some over by Jefferson. There is one in front of TJ's and there's one in front of O'Reilly's, and they go like this, right? Well, I can see it being stores and stuff that business may have asked for it. But these addresses, I'm sure like 877 Bellefountain probably doesn't know that every time a car drives by that their house is getting lit up. And so every time, that's what they say, because it says flock cameras take interval pictures. So it's every time something goes by. My question to you, sir, is what triggers that to go by? What triggers it? What triggers that camera?
They're motion activated.
So I could have triggered it. So when I went over to my camera and I had my camera like this, I triggered it.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm sorry if you.
So it's
triggered it or
motion. No, I'm asking because you said it's
Yeah.
motion. So me as a person is a trigger, correct? Because I'm like, my question is it's important because
So
I'm like,
they're-
what is it that's picking it
yeah.
up? Is it the metal on the car?
They're
Is it the
geared-
metal that's
yeah,
picking
they're
up and it's like,
geared
oh, there's
to,
metal?
Yeah, they're geared towards the road to capture the back of the vehicle. So
Right.
generally, I don't know the addresses you were saying, generally, they don't capture broad area because they're geared to catch the back of the vehicle.
But what's flagging it? What's triggering
The
it?
vehicle's driving by, correct.
The vehicle's driving by, but what about that vehicle driving by? There has to be something, so people don't get it. Like when Siri, they're like, oh, it's not really on, it's always on, because it's always listening for its name. My question for you is you're telling me that the camera is triggered by movement?
By a vehicle driving by.
A vehicle,
correct.
so you're saying that this camera is only picking up things like made of metal? Like, I mean, how do you know it's only picking up?
A larger mass vehicle, correct. Now, if you're standing in front of it and a vehicle drives by.
I know, how do you know, how do we know that I didn't trigger it?
It's triggered, right?
That's what I'm saying, how do we know that people walking by is not triggering these cameras?
So generally, the cameras, again, are geared towards catching a vehicle that drives by, not people.
I hear what you're saying, but
So
you're not answering the question as in, what about the camera is triggering it? Is the camera looking for metal? Is it looking for you're saying movement, so a raccoon?
Yeah.
Could it be a raccoon? Could a raccoon trigger it?
Generally, no, they're engineered to capture a vehicle driving.
I think we need a better clarification on that, generally.
If
But
I,
then
if
again,
I may, does the speed play any part into it? If you gotta
Yeah,
be going
you
a
know.
certain.
I don't, no, it'll snap in a photo if you're driving slow or fast. So I don't know that, but so no, I mean, like a raccoon going by should not trigger it now.
All right, so anyway, I thought that it's kind of shady that our sheriff and our chief of police got this grant, apparently, and installed these cameras, and then came to council about it. That's why we're talking about it. Because they went up and they're all shady about it, and I never did know about how to get up here. A different reason got me to council, and then he started speaking on that November day. And I was like, oh, there we go, that's why we're here. Anyways, so when you take these cameras of these interval, pictures, if someone could hack it, then they could take a bunch of these, this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture, put it together and make a flip book if they wanted to. Yeah, a mosaic, yeah, if I have that written down, a digital mosaic of a person's life.
Yep.
Right, right?
No. So the cameras are encrypted, so that means that when the photo is taken, it is scrambled immediately, as well as the entire time it's 30 days on the server. They are encrypted.
So, but what I mean by digital mosaic, meaning if it's capturing me here, and then it's capturing me there, and it's capturing me there, like in a month's time, it's like, okay, Kim goes here, then she goes over there, and then she goes over here. It's getting a footprint of my activity, is what it's doing. It's getting a footprint, is what it's doing. Okay? It knows I left my house, and then I went to the gas station and got gas, and then I went to church, and then I went to my friends and came home. There's a lot of them around here, and so that's where my thing comes. This Fourth Amendment right here, my pocket Constitution, right here, it says, Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, their houses, their papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue. But upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, I know that talks about, seizures by the government, and I know you're a private company, and that's how they're getting away with it. This is a private company, and that's how they're going to get away with surveilling us, going against this Constitution, because they're a private company.
You're not government.
And they're not the government, exactly, right. So
just if I may, ma'am, so license plate readers, not just us, other companies as well have been challenged in federal court over and over and over again. So I got constitutional opinions, I'm sure we all do, where they're decided is in the courts, in federal court. Uniformly, federal courts have said that license plate readers do not violate the Fourth Amendment. Uniformly.
Yep, I've seen that.
So.
Yeah,
but here's where my problem comes. Because all these photos that we've been talking about, they take these photos and they use them for their court cases. No warrant. Didn't need a warrant. So therefore, we now have admissible evidence into a court thing with no warrant. Once again, I'm not trying to be doing crime, so I'm not, first concerned about that, but it's an issue with our Fourth Amendment right, because we're not supposed to be able to just to do whatever it is they want to do, okay? We have things for search and seizure. If you want to use these pictures, they need to be able to get a warrant. So I agree with these guys. If we're going to have some kind of these cameras, there must be some kind of thing saying who's checking these, the report or whatnot, because literally it's infringing on our rights all the way around. And I know they talk about being out in the public, and it's not really, you don't really have privacy out in the public, as in walking down the street, but
when they follow you though.
Yeah, that's all, like, when you're doing things for your, tracking it, you do. And then to retention of the video, you said for 30 days, so 31 days they can't get it.
Correct.
But you said that it is held longer if necessary.
So correct, so if they search a plate connected to a crime and they find a picture, they're able to download it to preserve it as evidence. So that is the only way that data would not be deleted. So that's like, you would want to preserve that evidence if it's associated with a crime, just as you found any other evidence.
Sure, but once they download that, then it's there.
Correct, it's on a local server.
And we can always have access, people get access.
And that would
But
show
I
up
wanna
in the
mention
audit
something.
log as well.
One more thing you mentioned earlier, you mentioned a third party. You have a third party that does something for your business, what was it?
Independent stress testing to our system. So that is a industry best standard where you have independent stress testing to your cybersecurity. So it's not just us saying, yeah, we got great cybersecurity. You get that independently tested. It has more validity to it.
So what does that mean? I mean,
So
what
like,
is this? What is
yeah. So it's essentially like, it's a company saying, we believe we have really good cybersecurity, but we're also going to have an independent agency verify that.
So this independent agency also has access to this information that you have?
No, they do cyber stress tests to our system. They do not have access to customer data.
Mr. Cooper,
AWS security.
please, you have to talk up at the stand, please.
Okay.
And there's reports that come out on that. SOC2, SOC1 reports that come out on the results of those.
Okay.
It's just a really important part to ensure that the system and the data is kept safely.
All right, I just wonder, because sometimes when we have third parties, it's the third parties that ends up getting hacked, and then next thing you know, there's a
I
news
see what
thing
you're
going
saying.
on. Because I've got two things in my house right
Yeah,
now,
I see
two
what you're saying.
things where I've been, one has to do with Amazon, and one has to do with something else, where somehow somebody got my information.
I see what you're saying. Yep, no.
So this is a big deal.
It's an independent agency, just to ensure, we work very hard to ensure our system is safe. Nothing like a separate set of eyes ensuring that as well.
All right. I really am about the Fourth Amendment on how we're going to use, or let me ask you that. I forget your name, officer. To what I just said, I mean, do they do that? I mean, can you affirm or deny
Which part?
that they use without needing a warrant? That you can just pull the picture off and you don't need to technically get a warrant to be able to use that in your court case?
Yeah, we don't need to.
You don't need a warrant? See, so right there, thank you. That goes against the, they're using information. Everything else in your court case, they need a warrant for. But not these cameras. And our police chief is like head of the FOP. I mean, it'd be pretty crappy if he didn't get these cameras. But I think it's pretty crappy that he and his counterpart for the county had to put up with not telling everybody. That's not nice. That's what I got.
Mr. Chairman?
I have a question
Yeah.
for you. Are the cameras set by size of something that goes by?
You mean like the vehicle?
Yes.
They will capture everything from a motorcycle generally to a 18-wheeler. They can capture all of it.
But they more
Small
than
car,
likely.
big car,
Okay.
18-wheeler, motorcycle, correct.
Okay.
Yes, clerk?
I just want to clarify. Do you mind?
I do actually.
Obviously not, because I'm trying to address the chairman up here and you're
That's
interrupting.
why I'm here. You guys don't mind because you guys are so far in debt. I mind, I'm here.
I'm about to quit.
It is free speech. You can't.
Mr. Chairman, despite the noise at the back of the room, I was on council when these things came in. And Mr. Rollins can correct me if I'm wrong, but I was told at the time that the county got a grant for it, and they were put in with the consultation of the chief of police and with the permission of the mayor. It did not come through council. The mayor gave permission at the time, and I'm not talking Bill Collins, this was Scott Schertzer. That's what Mr. Schaber told me when we discussed it.
Thank you for that information.
So,
Please.
I'm Cindy McGuire, 519 South Main Street, Marion. I've been here a long time, 45 years now, and it's been a nice place to live. I have been the head of block watch on our little section of the street, and everything seems pretty cool. And 2 years ago, I would have said, yeah, we want these cameras because we want to fight crime and we want to be safe, definitely. But we've all just watched Minneapolis. We've all watched Chicago. I have friends in those places. They have disrupted lives, Homeland Security. They have dropped in and arrested children. What stops them from accessing these records if they ask? Can you say no to that? That's the bigger picture.
It's my understanding that we could, with policy enforcement, we could have a policy that we wouldn't allow ICE.
I believe he's also indicated that the only federal agency that has access is the U.S. Postal Service, is that correct?
If you give, so Flock has no contracts with Homeland Security or ICE. Let's just start there. But all of the sharing is done locally. So
they could allow it.
With the postal service or the park service.
No, with Homeland Security.
So they don't have an account in our system, ma'am. So
well, wait a minute. You're talking about a government entity.
Correct.
If they want this information, they will obtain it one way or another.
So like if they called the town and asked for it,
right,
it would be up to the town to make that decision.
Right.
And I think that would be a warrant.
Yeah. So
it would require a warrant to
You would share
get.
with the public though, would it be?
I
That you
wouldn't.
have released this. I don't know. I'm asking. I'm
Okay.
concerned.
I'm saying I personally wouldn't, but I'm.
We wouldn't do that.
And it would also be permanently logged as well.
I would hope so.
It
But
is.
I just have seen too many instances of our administration destroying towns and people's lives. And I really don't want that to happen to Marion. I feel like Marion's a good place to live. But we also share it with other people from other countries that are here peacefully. I know some of them. I welcome them. And I would hope that our community would continue to welcome them also. They're paying their taxes, they have jobs, they have children. So I just want to keep it peaceful and know that this isn't being put in place to threaten people. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Civil and one more. That's, come on.
Was Flock used in Iran to track down terrorists?
No, we're not. We have no cameras in Iran.
That's the question. He answered it.
Are you
He
serious?
answered it
It's on the
though.
news.
Please.
They use Flock, it's been on the news, they use Flock. They admitted they use Flock.
We have no cameras in Iran.
They admitted to it,
Period.
huh? Okay. Well, we know that he's a liar.
Susan Kelly, 365 East Farming. I'll be a bit more friendly with you. Let me hear this. Do the cameras have pan, tilt, zoom, crop functions?
Not the LPR, sir, but the live cameras do.
Okay, so the license reader plates that we have in Marion, that's all
Are fixed.
are fixed?
Yes.
Okay, so they're focused on, say, 3 foot off the ground where you typically find the license plate in the center of the lane.
That's correct. They're focused
So
on.
if a protester, if they stoop down in the middle of the street, they're kind of stupid, but let's leave that off, okay? The plates are only decided by, the ones that are in your system are only decided by the local police, correct?
So a local list, yes. If you have like an Amber Alert, that would be a national alert.
Okay, that's where it's gonna go.
Yep.
So when the license plate for the Indiana kid went in the system, it goes everywhere, and if the camera gets a hit on it, it automatically reports back to the local.
If they enable Amber Alert, yes.
Okay. So
All those sharing in and out is controlled locally. I mean, most people do enable, have Amber Alerts on their systems, yeah.
right.
So yeah, so if it,
usually in Amber Alert you would go nationwide with it because of you don't know where.
yes, sir, the design of Amber Alert is for sure to be nationwide because missing children end up, unfortunately, all over the place.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's automatically in the expanded list, let's call it.
Correct, so if, let's say, a child from Cleveland went missing, and the Marion was opted into Amber Alert, and that vehicle passed through a Marion camera, it would alert Marion in Cleveland that the child that's missing passed.
So we would have to opt into the Amber Alert
Correct.
system?
Correct.
Okay. May I ask if we are in the Amber Alert system? Yes. Okay. What about the Silver Alert system?
Major Schaefer, can you, Silver Alerts, are we?
I don't remember that as a specific option, but
Yeah.
Okay. But that would be something else to consider if we keep this.
My
from-
assumption is yes, but we can find out.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mike, sir.
Okay, does anybody else from the public have any questions? The committee? No? Okay. So, obviously, we've heard a lot here. It was great to hear from the representative. At least I thought so. Some of you may not think so. We'll look into some policy and see what we need to do. I mean, it sounds like that's what needs to be done. So, without further ado, we're adjourned, 8:40.
Matter's not on the agenda?
It was there.
There is, we had a meeting, you can tell us about it last Monday.
Okay.
Park meeting at the airport?
I didn't have a meeting.
Has nothing to do with politics.
There was a Parks Committee meeting, but there was not a council member.
So you had a public meeting. Okay, is there, who do we ask for the minutes for these meetings? Who do we ask for the minutes, Mr. Powell, for that meeting?
Parks Commission, I have no clue.
And they held that at the airport?
I believe so.
And there's no agenda or anything like that? Okay, the Parks Commission.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. There's no city government there?
Hurry up, hurry up. I got a list of members. I promise. Mr. President.
Okay, I'll shoot you an email to ask you for that, because I'd like that, because there's some talk about things going on.
Not a problem. The packet in front of you is all the stuff that didn't make the deadline.
There wasn't any council members that were yelled at my face when I was asking about it. There weren't any council members there. I didn't know what you want there. I don't know what it's about. Let me know. There weren't any council members there.
Here for another meeting.
It was at the airport. It was scheduled. There's no agenda, there's no meeting, there's no minutes, there's no nothing. And it's the Parks Committee. You're talking about putting splash pad in downtown. How the heck can we do that?
For insurance premium over the years, we were going back and forth on whether or not to switch insurance carriers.
Well, yes, it's our money, but it's the city.
Okay, I'll be a little more calm in this one, since I got my bladder pain.
Not passionate, I guess we just didn't want to have any chances of it lasting first. And that one I didn't have it attached like I wanted to do because of it, or very why without insurance for the insurance policy.
Yeah, it's,
I am passing on the other thing. I didn't get you. Sorry.
there's one more too.
I got to stop calling Mr. Arsmith Mr. Airsravel.
What's this?
He said they used to call you Mr. Airsravel.
Yeah. And I don't think Mr. Kelly has gone through a transition yet.
Yeah.
He's still a he, not a she.
I saw that too. I think I already got that.
Oh, okay.
8:43, we will bring Finance Committee for 3/16/2026 to order. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Rollins?
Present.
Mr. Arsmith?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
All right, we do have proceedings from the meeting from the 26th of February, I believe. I'm not really sure how to read that date, but...
March 3rd.
Or 2nd.
Yeah. 2nd.
March 2nd.
Committee, have you had a chance to review the
Yes.
minutes? Yes.
And the names on the committee need to be changed to reflect the actual committee.
Yep. Ms. Lang is not on the committee.
Correct. Any other corrections to be made?
That's all I saw. I'll make a motion we approve.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion on the table to accept with the edits as discussed. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
All right, just 2 items. Could we please have silence in the audience? Thank you. I have 2 items of old business. First item is update on audits. So I will turn it over to the auditor's office for any updates.
Yes, Clark, Schaefer, and Hackett is doing our audit for 2022. They're at a standstill until we get our contract finished with reconciliations. And once they get that, then they can move forward. They have quite a bit of it done. And once they get that, then don't think they'll be long before they're finished and moving on to 23.
Do we have any idea of tentative timelines for the reconciliation process?
I do not. I'm not part of that.
I can give you a little update. So it's like we can't catch a break, right? So we hired the guy about a month ago. Right at the day after we hired him, he had a surgery that didn't go so well, and he's been incapacitated until just 2 or 3 days, 4 days ago. So he's back to working on 22. In the meantime, Clerk, Schaefer, and Hackett, I believe, was going to ask for an extension until the end of April to finish that audit.
Okay.
So then they're going to come to us. I think they're going to talk to the auditor tomorrow about updating that time frame that we had, the schedule for 22, 23, 24. So hopefully we'll have that updated for you guys by Monday night at council.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience on that? How about from committee?
I actually do.
Yeah, please come forward. State your name and address.
Daniel, 608 Gator Street.
Go ahead.
Marion, Ohio. Is anybody in council or in the city talking about trying to find ways to annex the surrounding areas?
That we have a whole committee that is dedicated to zoning and annexation. There is nothing on their agenda at this time, but I will communicate that to the chair of that committee.
Oh, that's right. I mean, you know that's not going to fly. Now, when does that committee meeting come about?
Whenever the chairman calls one. It would be the same night as any other committees, but at the discretion of the committee chair.
Oh, that's you? I think I should bring that up. It's like, is that going to be next week for you then?
Well,
2 weeks.
Okay, well, I'll bring that up. Because somebody's out there in city council wanting to sit there and discuss ways to annex. I don't think so. Why?
All right, well, thank you. All right, item number 2, penalties and appeals. Any update on denied appeals? Any additional correspondence from the IRS?
we have sent out a letter to get an update on where we stand with the outstanding appeals that we have that haven't been settled, and we have not gotten a response back. It generally takes a while for the IRS. It's kind of their busy season now anyway.
Since the last committee meeting, no additional correspondence regarding fines or penalties that you're aware of?
We have had penalties come in from OPNF and OPRS.
For what quarter?
Late filing.
Late filing?
Yeah.
Again?
For OPNF and OPERS, Ohio Public Employees System, and the Ohio Police and Fire. Not
Okay.
related to that, yes.
And what were those penalties in total for, do you know?
They were for November, December, and January.
And what was the total penalty?
Well, I'm not sure what the total's gonna be, because I'm not sure where we are with some of the aspects. I've been working with OP and F. But right now, we're looking at like $16,124.34. $9,656.12 is for Ohio OPERS, and $6,468.22 was for OP&F that we have received so far.
Questions from committee? Yes.
30. I'm sorry, Amy Craig, 365 Silver Street. I couldn't hear. Were this November of last year?
Yes, November, December.
And then January of '26?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I had some people sending me some messages that are apparently city employees, and they are receiving letters from OPERS asking them what they want done with their, when you leave city employment, you get your cash out.
Disbursements?
Yeah, there we go, that's where I couldn't look for. But they're still city employees. So their OPERS has not been, the contribution has not been made in so long to OPERS that OPERS doesn't think they work for the city anymore.
We talked to OPERS about that. They knew our situation, they understood. A lot of those letters go out automatically, so there's really no way for OPERS to stop it without going into the system, which they're not going to do.
What is it, like 90 days that a payment's not made on their behalf, though, that they're considered separated?
I would think that would be a good guess. I don't know the answer to that, but I know a lot of people have, and that has been relayed to me.
That's
But
current.
But that is current now.
That
And
is, so
yes.
everybody's employed as of right now?
Yes.
And I can tell you personally, everybody's been made whole.
Okay.
And I helped with getting those caught up.
Because I know some it was like $2, some people it was like $20, some people it was like $90, if they were owed an interest and
As
whatever.
of today, everybody's current with OPERS. Everybody's been made whole and nobody has lost out on any of their
I know,
pension.
okay, yeah, they're accrual. So then we should be good going forward. Everybody should be getting their OPERS deposited on time, and nobody should be getting letters that they don't work for the city anymore.
Correct.
Awesome.
Ohio Police and Fire is caught up too. As of the end of
You guys are moving right along. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions related? Yes.
Lonnie Daniel, 608 Decatur Street, Marion, Ohio. I'm not trying to embarrass you, sir, I'm just asking a question. I mean, when can we expect these audits to finally be put to bed? I mean, you know, the 2022 audit is 4 years old now and so forth and so on, and it's like I didn't realize that we had to remove somebody and put somebody into place, but when can we hopefully expect for this to finally be put to bed? And, you know,
Well, they did have a schedule laid out for the completion of these. But like, I think the mayor mentioned that they were going to.
End of April?
Yeah.
For 2022.
But they were going to meet with Clark Schaefer and Hackett and figure out, since that we have gone past the point for 22, that we may have to move forward the agenda for 23 and 24.
So am I do I understand that the 2022 audit will be done by April, or are we talking about all of them?
No, just the 22.
Also by the end of April, we'll finally put that, because I saw here that the 2021 audit was finally put to bed. So.
Yes, I'm not sure 22 will get done by April. It's based on, like the mayor had said, the gentleman that we were using to promote the reconciliation had a surgery, it didn't go well, and now he's back on work. And once he gets his stuff done, then our accountants can finish that up for the 22. And then they'll move on to 23 and 24 and 25.
Come in here, I've come in here for months, we keep seeing the same things, we're just kind of wondering, I'm just kind of wondering, maybe it's like, you know, when is this finally gonna finally end and we're gonna get set to rights, at least on that. I mean, because, you know, if the IRS is gonna continue to hit you with penalties, and we're not gonna get right.
I don't believe there's any more penalties that have been affected by the IRS since the last ones that we have talked about. So I don't believe it's reoccurring penalty. But the mayor does come into our office quite often and ask the same questions you were asking, when we were going to get done with our stuff. So, I mean.
I appreciate your time.
It's a concern, yes.
Sean Moore, first ward in the city council, just for the law director, are we planning on going after the bond for reimbursement for these late filings from November, December, and January?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience on this matter? If not, we're going to move on to new business. All right, first item of new business. Clerk, could you please read?
It's going to be a mouthful.
Get after it, bud.
An emergency resolution authorizing the mayor, law director, and/or clerk of council to execute all documents necessary for the national opioid settlement with Associated Pharmacies, Inc. and American Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company, Inc., Morrison Dixon Company, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company, Inc., and United Natural Foods, Inc., including its subsidiaries, Super Value and Advantage Logistics, IX Remnant Defendants.
Thank you. All that is to say, I'm going to turn it over to the law director.
Making this road. So this will probably be about the 5th settlement authorization council has enabled.
Yep.
The first 4 were participants in One Ohio. This is the first one that's not a One Ohio distribution program. It shouldn't affect anything. We'll just have to monitor it more directly. One reason I believe it's not One Ohio is One Ohio hasn't turned out to be what it was sold to us. There's no problems. We'll still get our distributions from the first 4, but as this indicates, these are what they call 6 remnant defendants. They're a lot smaller than the Purdue Pharmaceuticals. And with your authorization, we will recover the monies that we would be entitled to from the court-approved settlement.
Very good. Any questions from committee?
None.
None for me.
If not, I will make a motion to send this to council with a recommendation to approve.
Please.
No, yes, come on forward.
Thank you. Sulu Kelly, 265 East Farming. Two things. Do we have an idea maybe how much this might be? I mean, we're talking $500,000, we're talking $5 million, we're talking $10 million. Do we have any idea? And do we have any plans where it's going?
So this is a step where we're just enabling the participation in the distribution of the settlement.
Okay.
The settlement will be overseen by a federal court.
Right.
And so to answer your, so we probably find those answers in the federal court case. I can't tell you as I'm standing here, those numbers you want to hear.
Okay, so we're opting in.
Yes, we're
And
participating.
how many people opt in
Yeah.
determines how the slice goes.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any idea what we might want to do with this? I'm thinking some of the budget shortfall.
Yeah, I think generally with these opioid settlements, it's very specific as to what these funds can be used for. In the past, we used them for things like the rec center.
Okay.
I would absolutely support continued funding of that program,
Okay.
things of that nature.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
And I will second your motion.
All right. We've got a first and a second. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Harshman?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
All right, there was a few items that were turned in after deadline. Because of the time this evening, I'm going to entertain just one of those, as it needs to be a little bit of a rush, at least to get to council for discussion.
Which one?
It would be Finance 22. Additional release of funds over 25% related to insurance premiums. Clerk, could you please read?
An ordinance authorizing the release of expenditures of more than 25% of the approved first quarter budget due to annual expenses required to be paid in advance of the year ending December 31st, 2026.
All right, thank you. I will turn this over to Ms. Toriano for additional information.
So we were going to try to wait to pay this before or after the full budget got passed, but In the meantime, we're also tossing around the idea of switching insurance companies for the purpose of saving money. After looking at the policies, it didn't work out in our best interest to switch, so we continue to stay with our current policy holder, which caused an increase, and it is due April 1st. So to prevent any lapse in insurance or anything like that, I asked this be sent to council. And attached to the ordinance is the breakdown of how those funds go and how it's split out.
Was this additional total included in the budget that's before council currently, or?
Yes, this is currently what's sitting in front of council.
Okay,
It's not anything additional.
thank you. Any questions from committee?
None.
Any from the audience? I will entertain motion at this time.
I will make that motion to move this to council with a recommendation to approve.
And I will second.
Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
And that's to approve, right?
Approve, yes.
All right, that will conclude new business for tonight. I will open it up to any matters not on the agenda.
I have a question.
Sure.
I understand that there was a meeting Thursday with the auditor of state, is that correct? Was there a member of the finance committee at that meeting?
There was not.
I think there should be. Can we receive an invitation when that meeting's held or whenever they're held? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? All right, we are adjourned.
Yeah?
Serena's in the hospital.
Oh, is she? I'll let Mitzi know, because my sister was her friend. I mean, that lived next door. What hospital?